Spectrality was first introduced by Jacques Derrida to describe the temporal and ontological disjunction where the living present is out of joint. This concept was enlivened by W.J. Zabel in his notable work, The Rings of Saturn, which centers on wandering voids of richly described landscapes that are characterized by the eruptions of the surreal and illusory event of the past. This promotes consideration of the spatial-temporal relationships between a landscape and its spectral memories, that the past can be temporally perceived and interact with the present. We take inspiration from Zabel and Derrida in the construction of a new audio-based mixed reality experience of the landscape. We use sound, which is a physically unconstrained and invisible medium, to craft the spectral presence for the landscape's memories. We do this in the context of historically and culturally unique spaces like post-industrial landscapes. The site we choose is called Carey Furnace, a National Historical Landmark in Pittsburgh's Riversdale National Heritage Area. Our audio walk was orchestrated as a MR mobile application named in the memory of the post-industry that plays back fully spatialized media based on the position, orientation, and the proximity to the visitors. To develop this project, our effort was organized into 4 key processes. Audio content, including atmospheric sounds and oral history about the impact of Carey Furnace, was first gathered, edited, and assembled. Each single sphere in this image represents one audio content. Soundscape composition was conducted in Unity with the simulated virtual model of Carey Furnace. In this way, the soundscape spatial relationships could be easily and iteratively evaluated to form the final soundscape and coordinate with the physical site. For the interaction design, unlike in the traditional audio walks, where the sound's position remains relatively static during playback through headphones, we instead create a 3D relationship between the listener's sound and their situated environment. The parameter for triggering sound were tied directly to a virtual 3D volume that changed shape and moved over time to increase serendipity, encourage open-ended exploration, and further a sense of spectrality for visitors. With all the design works ready, a mobile application was built in Unity for the final on-site experience. To evaluate the design, 11 participants were recruited to experience our audio walk at Carey Furnace. They completed the on-site audio walk followed by an on-site focus group discussion. Transcripts were analyzed and findings were discussed in 4 topics. Firstly, we noticed that the spectral presence occurs when people can perceive a medium's content without noticing the medium itself. Secondly, it showed that the immersive audio content drew participants into a stronger engagement with the structures and conditions of the landscape and also afforded them a deeper appreciation of the harsh conditions when working at Carey Furnace in the past. Thirdly, we also noticed that although the structures were static, active sound elements brought participants into a landscape living with its history. As participants matched details from the digital audio with the physical structures, it helped it to conjure immersive imagery in their mind and stimulated a full immersion which goes beyond what either the sonic and the visual experience could achieve alone. Fourthly, this image depicts the variety of different routes taken by participants. As the soundscape composition did not prioritize a particular route or order of the site experience, participants found a coherent narrative experience regardless of how they traversed the site and thus result different temporal, spatial, and narrative experience. In terms of the limitations, in the current implementation, performance depended on GPS accuracy and could be less stable for much complicated spatial condition. More precise data, including the specifics of users' trajectories and sound encountered, could be added to better understand the participants' individual and collective experience. In conclusion, this work introduced a spatial-temporal mobile mixed reality audio walk that draws on Derrida's concept of spectrality to haunt a landscape with its own history. This is an initial exploration of spectrality in audio-based mixed reality experience, and we envision many future directions that encourage exploration of Derrida's concept in future technology-mediated cultural heritage experience.